giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and
Right, good evening everybody. That text will clear up in a little second or two once it refreshes. I don't know why it does that. You're obviously not meant to tab out on this software, but that's what it does. Welcome everybody. We are here for a one-loss side match in the Virtual Cowboy World Championships. There are a number of matches in the schedule. We'll have a quick look at them. We've got the one that we're waiting to see, MC Clarkey against Real Poland Power Stub, which goes at the top of the hour. We've got my own match at 11 PM tonight, for which I will be semi-conscious. You see how I went downhill rapidly last night at 8:30 when we were still playing that 9-ball Scottish doubles. The eyes were gone, and it was only 8:30, but it's my natural bedtime at this the way it is nowadays. And I was going downhill rapidly last night, so God knows what I'm going to be like at 11 o'clock. I've had a nap, but not really a proper sleep. We've got Kenway against Woody on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, which is also a one-loss side match. We've got Larry and Tam. Now, here's a problem. We've got Larry and Tam on Thursday, which, well, first of all, I would hope Slim would be around, but the problem is that's 3 o'clock in the afternoon his time, or even 2 o'clock in the afternoon his time. So if he's working, he won't be here. The problem is the match starts at 8 o'clock. I'm back to work on Friday morning. It could go 3 hours easily if it came to it. So I'm reluctant to start streaming that match. We've got VP Monster and Casino Jim next Monday at 7 o'clock, which is the, I don't know whether it's a round 1 or a round 2 match. It probably is, depending whether it's a bye or not. And then finally we've got Sir Gresham Progressive Pool a week today at 6:30 PM. So, what, you not hearing any volume? Oh, you got it muted? Oh, good. I'm glad it wasn't my fault this time. What was I going to say? Right, I mean, I'm finding that I've noticed in the past that I tend to play better when I play a little bit faster in Cowboy and I don't think too much. I never really think too much anyway, but I think that's going to be the strategy tonight, is just get things moving, not hang about, not overthinking stuff. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the sooner I get it over with, the quicker I get to bed. I presume Steve has no intention of being here. I'm going to do a quick tab. He hasn't messaged me anything. No, I don't see him in the in Discord, and so if he is intended to drop in, he'll probably appear in the room. We'll see how it goes. We're travelling to Travis, and he was recording more about that Jeff guy doing his usual tricks. Ah, well, Steve can Steve can look it over. I'll tell you my theory in this match tonight. Matt was talking to me earlier on. He was asking how to adjust the size of the chat. You know, how to scroll the chat window so that he doesn't need to read Stubb's crap, although he can mute Stubb. And I think the one thing about this match is that, you know, Stubb seems keen to get it played, and I think Stubb's resigned to the fact that he wants out. He doesn't want to hang about in this tournament much longer. And you know, whether he wins or loses tonight, you know, if he wins, that's a bonus for him. But if he loses, he won't be upset about it. He'll be glad he's out of it. It needs a bit more thought and patience. So, I mean, I don't think either of them's a favourite. Let's put it that way. I think we should get in the room though. So, again, I hope. Now, once again, just to point out, I'm using Marilis Action software, the one I was using last night, and or whenever it was. When was the bloody final played? Now I've totally lost the plot. Anyway, whatever match was it Sunday I was streaming it, wasn't it? It was Sunday, because last night I wasn't doing anything. We were in the 9-ball Scottish doubles. So I'm using it instead, and it went trouble-free the other night, so we'll see how this goes tonight. So I wonder if Stubbs going to hang about or actually just get in and go on with it. So remember the golden rules. I don't know whether, I mean, there are 9 people, well, 8 people in YouTube, 9 now. I'm in YouTube watching it on my phone, and out of those 8 people or 9 people, whether they're all current subscribers or whether 1 or 2 might be people who've accidentally been sent here, if you don't know what Cowboy is a pool game. It's played with the 3 balls that you see, the 1 ball, the 5 ball and the 3 ball. The 1 ball spots on the head string, and the 5 ball in the middle spot, and the 3 ball at the head of the pack, or what is the head of the pack. And the game is played in 3 phases. This version of the game is alternate, meaning that first of all you have to pot in sequence and then carom. But at the start of the match, you will have the lag for the break. The start of the match, you can open the match by hitting the 3 ball first. Whether you pot the 3 ball is immaterial. If you play a carom, you continue at the table, but your next shot must be a pot. You must accumulate points to get to an even number of 90, and once you get to 90, then from 90 up to 100, you can only carom shots. You can only score a point by caroming another ball. If you happen to be lucky and fortunate and actually carom the other 2 balls, you get 2 points. Once you get to 100, then your only option then is to scratch on the 1 ball. Well, VP Monster is more adept at Cowboy. I think the one thing you have to do to him is get to the caroms first before he does. If you do that, you'll apply the pressure to him. But if you don't get to the carom before him, he's going to be out long before you get there. On a good day, he will, but he certainly can be beaten. No doubt about that, he can be beaten. But you really do have to be on your toes and get there quick. The quicker you can get to 90 and get into the caroms, the more you apply the pressure to them. But that's probably the basic rule for any game of Cowboy, but against him in particular. Now, he's never done really well in the Cowboy World Championships. He's a good player, but he's found that there's other ways of winning, more assured ways of winning. That's the way Cobra's doing it. He's keeping everything nice and tight. And the one thing about Monster is he tends not to actually let the cue ball do too much either. He doesn't want to take risky shots. But we'll see how things go. So we are 4 minutes past the hour. Stubbs not come in yet, and he's definitely getting the alarms. I presume Stubbs in the lobby. I never even thought to look. Is he actually in the lobby? He's not even in the lobby. I think, yeah, this might not last long, because he's not in the lobby. See, I mean, that's why I was thinking the match has been agreed and played too soon for Stubb, because Stubb usually likes to mess about. So he's not in the lobby. It's 5 minutes gone. He's got another 5 minutes to get in. And that's up to him to get himself in if he's going to start messing about. Well, wouldn't it be fun if he then decided he was going to come into the lobby and suddenly had a connection problem and the bloody thing times out. Wouldn't that be fun? Well, welcome to Mark. Might be a short evening. Stubbs not in the building yet. It'd be a laugh if you come up with some excuse that you forgot the time of the match or something stupid like that. But like I said earlier, I think he's looking to get out of this as quick as he can, whether he wins or loses. I don't think he'd be particularly bothered. He just wants away from it. No, I've had a nap. I haven't had a proper sleep. They're just like, I think the Sweeney was on at the time. And what's his name was in the episode today? John Hurt. He had an episode. He was in an episode of the Sweeney, so I was watching that. Never saw the end of it, of course. Right, so we are 7 minutes past the hour. I've forgotten who Dusty Puppy is again. Is that Dwight? I think it is on posts on YouTube, not any other profile of any other channel. Right, so 7 minutes down, still no Stub, and I'm not messaging him on Facebook or anything. I'm doing nothing. That's up to him to bail out and do a runner and then start crying and saying I couldn't get in or some bullshit story. Uh, 8 minutes gone. Again, there he's finally arrived. And of course he's come in, the queue's now appeared. And we're having a lag for the break. Of course, the one thing you don't do in Cowboy is win the lag and give the break to your opponent. Well, Matt's got the lag sorted out. Oh, I just wish there was a connection problem there and they couldn't get in at the last minute and then it timed out. That would have been really funny. See, that break that Matt's just done is just a conventional pot and, break off. As long as you get into the kitchen, you should have a follow-up shot to play. Now, he should be potting the one ball here and staying in the kitchen. Well, as I mentioned earlier, Matt's got the chat shrunk down, so he won't be able to see much of Stubbs' bullshit. So he's now in the kitchen below the one. He's gone a wee bit closer to the one. That's okay. He's fine. You see, if he finished wide of that one ball, he could have played the post fall in the 5-3. So it, with that sort of rule of thumb, getting below the one ball, you've got a choice of two shots possible each time. That's why it's a good sort of rule to follow. Whatever the other balls are on the table, it's always good to try and get above or below them, so you have that either the choice of the pot or the carom, depending on what phase you're in at the time. Now that I don't think hit, and he might have got lucky here. Well, he's got very lucky, but I think Stubb can pot the one, although he doesn't have the force follow on the one because it's heading right into the 5. So Matt's run ends in 11. And Stubbs already messing about here. I mean, he could be setting up his crap on YouTube and listen to shred music. Now, there's the clock going down. All these extensions are going, all in this one setup. So he's obviously just messing about. He's not really interested in what's happening here. He's distracted himself and he's lost 2 extensions. And he could pay the price for that if it got to a nitty gritty. Now again, stay in the kitchen. Now you see that there? That's a poor shot because now he's got to stun this fairly hard and the cue ball can cut off and scratch. That's what you don't want to do. You want to make your carom shots a lot simpler and a lot more reliable. So that's above the 3, so now he's got a choice. He can thin the 3 to the 5, he can force follow the 5 to the 1. So that's him got a straight 2-shot choice there. And now the obvious thing is you just pot the 5, get into the middle of the table. You've got the 3, and you've got the 1-5 carom to follow. You really want to nudge the 5 to the hole. You don't, and if you can help it, you don't want it to go in because you want to pot it, stay in the kitchen, get the 5 up in the spot, and then off you go again. That's the sequence. So he doesn't want to hit this hard. And now the 1 is you're always going to push a ball dead doing that, but you've then got to look at the opportunity to get that 1 ball back in play, and where he's finished there's no good. Now off the right side, the left side of the 5 ball, I don't have my lines here, and of course he's not played the shot. See, it's amazing how somebody who knows a lot about playing shots could not execute the 3-railer on that 1 ball. And I don't even think he was playing it. I actually think he was trying to stunt to the rail and bump the 3, which was a lot more difficult than playing the 3-railer. And then he ends up scratching. So, this is, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you don't play this game on any regularity, you can't come into it and be a success overnight. It ain't happening. So Stubb, whatever points he did have, it wasn't many, but they've gone down the pan. Match run immediately ends in 5, and now Stubb's going to waste another extension pissing about. Well, he's going to get to a point where he's maybe having to think about something, maybe in a tight situation, and he's going to run out of extensions, and then he's going to complain. And if you're playing at a steady pace, the extensions shouldn't even come into the equation at all. So this has got to be thin, wafer thin, or force follow. To be honest with you, it's very thin. Got to force follow it and not quite finding the line. When you've got more of an angle and you're trying to create the force follow, then that's a lot dicier to judge. Believe me, anything's just offline. You know what I mean by offline, not quite straight, but just off straight slightly with a few degrees, then you should be able to play the force follows with them with very little trouble. But as soon as you go a more open angle, you're in trouble. They're a lot more difficult to judge. But the further that the angle opens out, the more likely they are to just to play the standard carom then, rather than a force follow anyway. So all Matt has to do is mind his business. Now, even if Matt's not putting big, 40, 50 runs together, all he needs to worry about is what he's doing now. You put 16 and counting, and you don't lose the points, and your opponent can keep banging away and losing points, and you're just drifting ever further away from him, applying even more pressure. So this should be the little force follow. Bump that one up the table, force follow to the 3, but he'll play the draw probably. Oh no, he is playing it. And now I would suggest that he comes back to the right slightly here. If you pot the 3, come back to the right. Again, it opens up 2 shots. Now, he could have done me coming back a wee bit further. You see that again, the angle's a bit thin on the 5 to the 3. And if he had opened this out to here, it was a lot better. This is tricky. And if you get it too thin, you'll just go straight down past the left side of the 3. But he's got it. So now this time, this has got too high an angle, this 3 ball. And the fact that you'll get the 1 and the 3 handy, you pot the 5, get yourself out into the table, and then you're lined up for the 1-3. Now you see he's hit that too soft. Right? He wanted to be really out here so that first of all he could possibly pot the 1, and secondly an easy carom. This is thin again. And look at the cue ball. See how easy it is. Got a double kiss there. But going wider, he'd have been much better, and there'd be no risk of that happening there. Now, again, this is just absolutely dead weight. You don't want to put any power in this at all. You just want to bump the 1 and if possible pot it, and you should have the 3 to follow. Well, he's hit the back of it, has done no harm. And now what would I do here? Well, I'd be potting the 3 for a start. So he's going to pot the 5 for the points, but you pot the 3, you get up into the table. As long as you're up level with the 3 spot, you can play a 3-1 carom if you're high enough. You see, now he's decided he's going to play for the 3-5, and this is no good. But if he can spin to the 1, he doesn't want to hit the back of that though. Well, you see, that was because there was too much an angle there. If he'd done what I was talking about, he'd have still been playing. He'd have still been at the table. What's this bloody shit? There's something just come up my screen. Hang on a minute, I'm just going to tab out. There's something running at the moment. What the hell is it? Right. Sorry about that. Apologies for that. This chat will fix itself again. But anyway, the most important thing about that is Matt put a run of 40 together and kept all the points. It definitely could have been a longer run, but that's all you need to be doing, is doing nice, decent little contributions, especially if your opponent's struggling, and sooner or later you're going to be knocking on the door of 90. Yeah, obviously if you're live streaming, they don't expect you to be tabbing out, but when you do tab out, in fact, I'll tell you something. I might actually contact them tomorrow, the customer support, and ask them if they know about that bug, because it's been there for all the time I've been using it. But they'll probably just turn around and say, "Well, you're not really meant to be tabbing out while you're live streaming, are you?" But they may well be working on a fix for it. That just got a wee bit thin. So now you pot the 1, bump the long rail. You see, again, he's desperate to take points rather than play the right shot here, you see. He's going to trifle with danger here. This has just gone wrong immediately, because he's given himself a lot of hard work to do here when he should have potted the 1. and now everything's running loose, and that's not the way to do it. If he'd potted the one, he'd the 5-3 carom. That was simple. But he thinks again, it's like every game he's played, he thinks doing it his way is going to work, and it ain't going to work. Yeah, you lose all your points in your visit, yeah. You most certainly do. So it's even more hilarious when you put a 60 or 70 run together and then you scratch. Then you have a good laugh or a cry. That's why it's painful. So Stubbs' visit ends in 17. Presume he never hit anything there. And now Matt has got a 5 ball that's just a wee bit too straight. But he can pot the 3, and the 3 will spot, and he'll have a 1-3-1 carom. Or in fact, he just come back a wee bit, so that's fine. Now I'm commentating this as I'm at the table, because this is a lot easier for me to. With only 3 balls on the table, including the cue balls, 4. But it's a lot easier for me to see what I'm supposed to be doing, if you know what I mean. If I'm at the table, you've got to think of what's the best tactic and the best position to keep yourself going here. Now, this is gentle to the rail and bump the back of that ball. You don't want to go to it direct. Well, he's went to it direct. See, of course, it's now hanging over the pocket. He's got a pot and got to stay below the 3. Or in this case, is weird looking above the 3. Now that's good. That's perfect. Even if you miss the 5 coming down, if you hit it hard enough, you'll catch the 1. And always good to try and keep the ball that you're actually hitting still in play, and the 3 is still in play. Now, he could get cheeky here, and he could pot the 3 and stay in the kitchen and still play up the table, but he's potting the 5. And now he has got a choice. He can force follow 1 to the 3, and again, big margin of error. You can go to the rail and bump that 3. This is a good shot. But you don't want to play it so soft that you're ending up stuck against it. He's fine, but I would much rather get that 3 away from there, because you don't want to be desperate where you're playing a carom onto the 3 when it's as close to that side pocket. No, it's dodgy to take at the moment. It will cut up table, but he's going to risk it. Get this the wrong way, you're into the pocket. Oh, I'll tell you, he is a lucky son of a bitch, as they say. Look at that. And that's why commentator's eye says you don't go near that 3 ball, let alone let it hang about there for too long. That's the danger of those shots. You don't want to be messing about with it. Whenever the little voice tells you don't go near it, then don't go near it, because you know the inevitable is going to happen. And Matt needs to keep an eye on his score as well. He's on 25, and he's only 9 short of 90. So he's looking good. And of course, if you don't fancy the shot and taking any risk, then just roll to a rail or something. You're going to let your opponent back at the table, but you've got such an advantage. And from what we've seen so far from Stubb, he's unlikely to put an 80 run together. So, Matt on 88, 1 for 89. Now, he could have stayed there and played the 5-3, because then he would have been up table and looking down on a 5-1 for his next carom. Could do me a bump. He hasn't got it. Now, this is where you run for cover here. If you start banging a ball to play a draw shot, that ball you're banging can run anywhere. Yeah, nice and thin edge. Has it got the legs? I think it has. Now, can he do something similar again? he might be able to bump that 5, yeah. He could have maybe bumped to 5 and gone to the rail and tried to spin to the 1, but he's just played a safety, and that's the right shot to play. Keep your points, and then let your opponent sweat it out. Now, how do you get back into this if you're stubbed? Well, you get back into this by just bumping this 5 gentle, because the 3's going towards the right-hand corner. Not that gentle, though. Not that gentle. He's dead in the water here unless he cuts this 1 ball. I'll have a quick drink. And the longer you play cowboy, the more natural certain shots become. You're just so used to it, especially on this table. I mean, if I went back to the 9-foot table, I'd probably struggle. In fact, I'd probably find the pockets a lot easier in terms of falling into them when I shouldn't be, but it's been a long while since. I mean, I'll tell you, the last time I played cowboy in the 9-foot table, that was in the first Cowboy World Championship we had, when it was set on the 9-footer. Right, so again, this is the danger. If he's drawn to the 5, he could scratch off that easily. But he's hit it in the correct side. Yeah, the 9-footer is harder to avoid scratches because the pockets take up a bigger area of the table, percentage-wise, I think. I mean, somebody would say it's more or less the same, but you know, psychologically and visually, the pockets are bloody huge. Right, so this is where you're really struggling when you're not getting shape on the follow-up shot. You start running loose and you're heading up to that top corner and scratching like that. You know, that's simply because you're not getting good shape. You start being desperate, you start having to run the cue ball, i.e. that's what I end up doing, and that's exactly what ends up happening. So there's a bit of an umpty shot. Matt had ball in hand there and played he played the carom, never bothered to look to see where the line of the 1 ball was going to go when he was playing the carom, and pots the 1 in the side pocket. That was funny. Now, Stubb doesn't realise you can pot the 5 for some strange reason. He decided to pot the 3. I mean, it was a foul, but the cue ball didn't leave it did leave the table. My bad, I'm falling asleep already. I'm losing the plot. He was right, we just caught the edge of it. He's got to avoid a scratch. Again, he's finished no good. Yes, he's got the carom to the 5. Yes, it's going to be a stunt unless he goes tight to the corner, and that's dangerous. He just got it. So he really needs that 5 back in play right now. And then he can work the 5 and the 3. That's going to go too straight, is it? No, he's okay. In a scratch, you can't touch anything in the kitchen. So that's why you then got to play out of the kitchen. So that's why when it gets down to the carom phase, that's where if you're chasing the game and suddenly, for some reason, all the balls are in the kitchen and there's a scratch, then you can mess your opponent about doing that. You can use that as a tactic. Watch the cue ball. Did he foul earlier because he potted the ball of its start point? Now, do you mean potted the ball off the spot or something? Right, for it, let's just clarify something here. Let's say the 5 and the 3 ball are in the kitchen, and your opponent pots the 1 ball but scratches at the same time. So you've got 2 balls in the kitchen. The 1 ball comes up and it goes on the spot. Now that 1 ball is out the kitchen when it's on its spot. So if you get ball in hand in the kitchen and the 1 ball's on the spot and these couple of balls are in the kitchen as well, you can play a draw shot or a carom or whatever and hit one of these balls in the kitchen, and it's perfectly legal. You've got to be aware of that. So when the 1 ball spots and you've got ball in hand, then that 1 ball is live and in play, and it is not in the kitchen, it is out of the kitchen. But Matt, of course, now being on 90, or he's now in 92, he can only carom balls, he can't pot anything. If he's playing a carom and accidentally pots a ball and he's on a run of 3 caroms, he loses his 3 points. So, and this is where Cowboy gives you the chance to get back in it. Now, Stubbs not scoring heavily enough to really apply any pressure to Matt. But if you put in a nice run of 50 odd or 60 here, and Matt's still messing about in 92, then, you know, if he doesn't get another carom, then you're back in straight away, and you're sort of in your sort of scoring rhythm. And well, like I said, that's only 6, and that's no good. Now, this is a big target. You overcut the 5, go to the short rail up top, come to the side rail and bump the 3. And if you hit it right, you can bump the 3 and play. He's going to pot it instead, though. You had to make sure it went tighter to the rail, so he was bumping the back of that 3, and then he would have been possibly in business there to work with the 3 and 1. And again, it gives Stubb another opportunity to put some points on the board, but 6 isn't going to cut it. He's got to get, you know, he's got to get at least 40 odd here in this visit. That would be a minimum goal. I mean, obviously the more the better, but he's got to be in the 70s by the end of this visit here. And how is he going to do it? Well, if he pots the 3 and comes into the table like that, he's got the 3-5. Whether it be, well, that looks like it will be a forced follow because it looks a bit thin. And he should immediately pot that that 5 ball and stay up top. You know, you say again, that's just crazy. That is so stupid. You just, you know, you roll the 5 ball, you stop the cue ball, you get an easy 1-3 shot, and I mean that is a shot of somebody who's not learning anything. And of course, all he's done there is he's left a free go for Matt. Now, I know what I'd be doing here. I could go 1 ball onto the short rail again, short rail, long rail, and bump that 5. And try and bump it down the table. Now, he could also go 3 rails off the 5 to the 3, but he has to go tight. And when I say tight, he has to come tight this way, so he's hitting the 3 that way rather than coming this way and potting it. He's going up. He's trying to go. Is it going to catch it? Not quite. But he had the right idea. Now again, Stubbs got the pot and the 5 to get it in play, but he's sitting no good. Now, had he let that cue ball run out, look at where the cue ball was going. The cue ball's going up to here. If he'd let it run out, he'd an easy 1-5 carom. So this is somebody who doesn't see the shots. And somebody that doesn't see the shots is a rookie at Cowboy. That's the best way to describe it. You know, you know where the cue ball's going, and you know there's a 1 ball handy, so you help that cue ball further up the table, so you've got the 1-5 to follow. Dead easy. So here's a 2-in-1 shot here off the 3 ball for the. Now you see again he doesn't see it. It's so obvious, and he starts banging. Now the 2-in-1 shot is the thin left side of the 3 ball. Now I would play it perhaps with a wee touch of right, so that when it comes off the rail, it straightens up and it comes down. Now if it misses the first ball, it might hit the second one. So that's why you play it as a 2-in-1 shot. If you only, if you only have your odds for one shot, then, especially when it's a carom you're playing, then your odds are far lengthened by not having any other option. So you should always look for 2-in-1 shots when you're playing caroms. Find a line where it's going to the ball you want to hit, but if it isn't going to hit it and there's another one lined, then you may well get lucky. So I tend to look for 2-in-1 shots when I'm desperate for a carom. So Matt's on 94, Stubbs on 50, and now this is a one railer if the line's there, or 2 rails to the back, and he didn't get the one thin enough. So again, this time Stubbs should be potting a 5, getting it on the spot, and if he stays on the left hand side, he's got an easy 5-3 carom. Now this should be gentle, because most likely he would want to pot that one. The one is dangerous where it's sitting there to be playing caroms towards it, so you want to get it potted. And of course, if you're going to pot the one, then what you've got to do is either pot it and make sure you're in the kitchen. If you're potting a 3, this isn't wrong. The problem that's wrong with it is he's not got the force follow to the 5, and now this is dangerous. This is why I would have always potted the 1 ball there. I would never have potted the 3. The 3 to 1 is so dangerous. You don't want to go near it. The cue ball's coming off the edge of that. It could have scratched in the corner. All sorts of bad things could happen doing that. And again, this time he's got an easy, well, I say an easy, a fairly straightforward cut in the side, but he's got to play this softish. That's too heavy. He's way out the line below the 3, and now everything's a struggle. You've got to have that vision to see where your next shot is coming from. Remember where the ball's spotting. That's the other mistake you make in Cowboy, is forgetting what end of the table you're at when you're watching. You're too busy focused on playing a shot and you forget where the ball spots. Yeah, we used to play a lot more Cowboy in the loch in VP3 because it was a lot easier. I've played Cowboy in the loch on the snooker table once or twice. It's a lot bloody harder. No doubt about that. Well, Matt moves to 96. Now this is a dangerous one. He's got to hit this full in the face. Pretty much that's what he's done. And look at where the 5's going. Now, if he gets this right and this 1 ball goes to the short rail and comes back into play, he could be out here. He's on 97. Has he hit it hard enough? I don't think he has. And you see, that's the thing. The 1's now not back in play and he can't get to it. And he doesn't want to mess with it. But he could take and in fact the other thing is he could overcut this, but this could bank. He's got to be careful. That 3 ball could bank. And he didn't really go all out for it there. But that's 3 caroms that he's kept there instead of losing them by not getting crazy. So Matt is on the brink. 98. Stubbs should, again, I'll say it for the 4th time, he should be on 90 at the end of this visit. Well, this ain't going to be easy. He's got the 3 ball down the rail. Why is he looking at the 5? Is he going to bank this? Why is he not just cutting the 3? He's going to cut the 5. He's trying to play miracle shots when, to me, the 3 was a lot easier. Even though he was close to it, you could easily cut that up the rail. Welcome to Interchange X. Watch the cue ball. That's always going to happen if you come into the back of that ball. So, once again, Stubb at the table, ball in hand, and trying to get to 90. You know, if he can get to 90 here, he's got a chance. You're not dead and buried, but he's just not stringing enough together to apply any pressure whatsoever. And that's ducking round the back. Is it getting there? No. Well, at least he's made it tough for Matt. You can get this running. I think it's going to split them. But there's no real sort of emergency here. You just got to bide your time. You'll get the points soon enough. Again, this is thin. He could go to the short rail and bump the one from behind if he wants. Going direct. So he's on 80 now. He's got to again pay attention to the scoreboard here. And he's also got to be aware that he's got no more extensions. This might work out. 85, he can bump that 3 and force follow. The 3 should go out the way. Let's have a look from his end. Yeah, the 3's... Let's have a look. The 3's well out of the way. It's gone past the edge of the 1. As long as he doesn't go over the score. But that's him on 86. So he's really got to play the 1. He's got to play the 1 ball. Stay in that kitchen. Now, why is he looking about the table? And now that's gone, see, that's gone too wide again. You see what I mean? He's not finding a decent set because he's overhit that, and now he's going to have to bang. And watch what happens to the cue ball. Look at that. There you go, boys. That's how to go about things and do it completely wrong in this game. Because he didn't get shape from the pot. You know, getting the pot and just getting on the next carom, you've got to play it at the right pace. He overhit it, he finished wide, and he starts banging balls. The cue ball starts running loose, and of course the inevitable happens, and he's wondering why. So Matt now, he's got to just play the 5 and bump that 1 towards the corner pocket in some general direction. Now, let's have a look. Well, this is out every day of the week. You just got to, I'd always put a wee bit of right on this, just so that if it hits the far jaw, it's going to spin in. I don't even think he needed it, but it was an easy out. So, Matt, after, well, it was actually only about less than 40 minutes, because it took Stubb probably, let me think, about 33 minutes at first rack, which is not bad. Stubb took like 8 minutes to get into the room. Yeah, that's correct. He had a complete disaster in the 9-ball World Championships. And I think he should be thinking about retiring. Well, again, having to bang balls to try and stay at the table, so a contribution of 4, not good enough. So you pot the 3 in this case, provided the 3 will spot and it's not been bumped off its spot, but it will spot. So you pot the 3, and you have an easy carom to follow. Now, force follow is simple enough, but I think he wants to get that 5 around and out of there. A bit like that. And now, well, the 5 balls ran a wee bit further, but he can pot the 5 either into the middle or into the corner and get back in play. He could stay this end of the table, but coming further up he's fine because he knows he's got the 1-3. And I'd be just playing this gentle, that if I can pot this 1 and brush the 3 and then pot the 3 next, we're good to go. Maybe not. So now that's gone a bit awkward. He's now got to dig out a pot, but once again he doesn't have to really worry too much about the follow-up carom because he's pretty much guaranteed one. So this match, I mean, being honest, I mean, if Matt just does a lot more of the right things and Stubb, this is going to be 3-0. Unless, Matt gets to the Albinario stage where he starts sort of losing interest and losing focus. And of course, the other thing is Stubb might get to a point where he then starts thinking about what he's doing and starts putting some scores together. There's always the chance of that happening. Now it's just getting a wee bit troublesome. He might be better off banking that 1. That's his best bet. I mean, the 5 ball will pot clearly, but it's a lot tougher than it looks. But the 1 looks a far easier shot with the bank. Yeah, that's just going to the well once too often there. The 1 ball bank was a lot simpler. So now Stubbs in trouble already because he's got to play a delicate combo here, carom here. It's very tight in the corners. He's got to get it tight, and he's nowhere near that. You could tell straight away as soon as he hit it, he was never going to get there. Well, the shot to play is the 5 ball. If you don't want to finish in line with this 5 and 3, you've got to get across. I don't know that that's went far enough. See, that's not great. Now you've got to play one of these further offline force follows, and they're never easy. You see how tougher that shot is. He had to get further across this way, and then it would have been a lot simpler carom. I would have been more inclined to get the 1 ball back in the spot there and get up into the middle of the table. But if you're going to play that one that Matt played, you had to get further right. Now Stubb has got a force follow here. Now he's looking to go to rails here. He thinks the 5's going to hit the 3. I don't think it was. But he got the hit. Now, the problem with potting the 1 here is he's not going to have anything easy to follow. He's going to have a carom, but the carom's at distance. And, yeah, this is not... again, it's a force follow, but you've got a wider angle and you've got to pick that line. Yeah, I don't know whether he's going to the rail here. No, he's trying to get it right. That's well done. Because they are not simple at that distance to get that line. Again, he's going to have to bang this. Yeah, he doesn't need to bang it that hard, just a nice stun. He's playing a sort of draw come stun shot there. I don't know whether he can he go forward in this. Yeah, he can put a wee bit of spin on it. You see, he hasn't though. He hasn't. You could have put a wee bit of spin on that to send that cue ball this way. And now he's again having to bang, and the visit ends very rapidly. So, you know, there's the sort of fundamentals, the basics of the controlling of the cue ball, Stubb seems to be devoid of in this game. Because you're trying to get that cue ball in a decent line for a follow-up carom. He didn't play it at all. You've got to apply that wee bit of spin and deflect the cue ball into a better line to make that follow-up carom simple, and that was not simple. So Matt's lead is just 10 at the moment, but counting. Now I think he's got a choice either way here. Yeah, the 5 to the 1 looks a lot simpler though. And again, with that shot, well, the unlucky thing about it is it hit the knuckle, but I don't think it's done a great deal of harm. But you really want that 5 ball going up over that other corner pocket, and then you pot it, you stay up there for the, you know, the next follow-up carom. You've got a choice of 2 shots. Now let's see how he's sitting here. Now again, this is just getting to that very thin one or the force follow. He's going for the force follow, and he's catching the edge of the one. That's good. Well, shot I'm playing is running through the 3 ball. Keep running. As long as you get by that middle diamond, you're in business, because then the 3 spots and you're good for a simple carom. And you're hoping to hit this 5 so that you're pushing it down table towards the pocket. You can pot the 5, maybe come across 2 rails, and if you're unlucky, you'll finish in line behind the 5. If you get it right, you'll be like that, and that's plumb. That's perfect. That's exactly where you want to be. He looks as if he's going a wee bit left to my eyes. He's just going to barely catch the edge of that. He didn't quite have the line there for that, but he just caught the edge of it. He needed to just move that a notch to the right. So he was hitting that 3 ball a bit full in the face. Now this is dangerous. Commentator's eye. Oh dear. Now that's what you don't want to be doing. That was very risky. The run goes to 30. And the danger with the shot he played there was exactly that. The 5 ball would have got to the hole there and he would have lost his point. So that's why he just sort of played a sort of safer shot and didn't risk anything. So he's kept his 30 points. He's got 57. Stubb way back in 24. And Stubb is yet to deliver in terms of catching up and making a rack out of this. So this shot here, back out into the middle of the table, is the rule of thumb here. And that might be short. Oh no, he's okay. Now let's have a look at the line he's taking. Again, he doesn't trust the force follow. That's a pretty good force follow. That 5 to the 3 there. The only problem with it is it's at distance. But Stubb is not comfortable, clearly, or he would have been straight down and played that. So again, another little contribution of 11. And he was fortunate there, he never left anything really set there for Matt that time. This is not actually great for Stubb either when you think of it. I mean, he can cut the one. That needs to slow up or he'll be dead in the water. I think he's okay. Well, again, you know, he's really, really not comfortable at all playing a force follow. I mean, that force follow that he had there, that was simple. Any regular cowboy player's never missing that. Now that 3 ball needs to get out of the way or bump the 5 like that so that you've still got a pot, because that's another thing that can ruin your next shot, where suddenly the 2 balls marry up with one another and you've not got a pot on. And that will happen from time to time. But this is, I think this is definitely the pattern of this match, unless something drastically changes for Stubb, because Matt's just going to come and put these contributions together, however big or small they are, and just keep adding to his tally. Stubb's contributions are nowhere near enough to be making a game out of it. Perfect again for the force follow. Matt's a lot more comfortable on these, and the 1 ball would be handy if it stayed there, and it does. So that now, what you don't want to do is finish behind the 1. Now, this is another force follow. Let's see if he's good with the line this time. This looks, he's looking a wee bit thin again. Again, he's working a very fine margin. But he's just caught the edge. That's all you need to do, is catch a bit of it. The problem is, though, he's not finished good in a pot. And watch the cue ball. And that's the danger. That is always the danger. You see how easy it is to put a lot of hard work together, and then you get out of line where you've got a pot that isn't easy and the cue ball's running loose. That's what happens. It happens all the time in this game. You get out of shape slightly and you've got to pull out a pot, and at the same time the cue ball's going to run loose. Well, credit Stubb with a bit of common sense here, because that's the old sucker scratch, you know, playing from the 5 to the 1 like that, or from the 5 to the 3. You hit it too heavy, you scratch in the corner every time. But I suppose that scratch there from Matt has given Stubb a glimmer of hope here in this rack. And again, he's got a force follow. Let's get behind him quick to see what he's doing. Now, that's fine. That line that Stubb had there was perfect for the force follow. He doesn't really want the 3 to go in. Now, if he stuns this in and comes along to here, see, that's short again. And the reason, you know, it's short, and it then means he's going to have to start banging things. He doesn't need to bang this, though. Got to get the spin in the rail. He hasn't got the spin, I don't think. No. Again, that shot that he played there, if you're going thin and you know you're definitely going to the rail, then you're probably best just to put a wee dab of right on it. Just, you know, so that if it does finish short, it's going to spin to that 1 ball. Now, you could be wrong and misjudge it and you go behind the 1, but I always think you're far better just putting a wee feather on it, unless you know you're going to nail it. Well, I would think Stubb's pretty much going to hit rock bottom after the unsuccessful efforts he had in the virtual 9-ball World Championship, and thrown himself in at the deep end in an alien game to follow it up. It's going to demoralise him, this. I suppose you look at it from another point of view, he's not getting, he's not getting any success in his games that he's a lot more comfortable with. Credit to him for at least still playing in this one, but he's got a long way to go before he's going to be a decent player at Cowboy. You can't do that by just playing it once a year, or once whenever the tournament comes around. You cannot do that. But again, Matt's contributions have quietened off, and it still gives Stubb a glimmer of hope. He's got to believe that he's now back on par, so it's, of course he's not sitting good though, that's the problem. He's okay if this was a pot, but it's a carom he's looking for. Now he's going to start banging again. You know what I would have done there? I would have been playing the three-reeler every day of the week. I wouldn't have hesitated. I'd have been off that 5. Long rail on the left, short rail on the bottom, long rail on the right, and up onto that 5. Or around behind it and into the back of it. The 3 ball, sorry, not the 5. So that shot that Matt's just played there, for any newcomers, that first shot that he's played, he's potted the ball, the cue balls ran around and actually caromed the 3 ball, so that now leaves us an open table, and that means you can either play a pot or a carom again to follow. And had that 3 ball gone in again, he would have still had an open table. He now doesn't. He now has to play a pot, but the pot should be good because I think he can see the 3, and he stays at that end of the table. I think he's getting to that too much. Yeah, that's not a good shot by Matt. He's getting to that too much, and now he's going to have to dig one out. If he'd stayed there, he was fine. Yeah. And that's how simple things can go wrong when you're not 100% switched on. The golden rule there is you don't start drawing the ball, just kill it, and you're easily got a follow-up. So he just got the wrong shape there. Do you honestly think Stubbs going to listen to anything anybody tells? We've told him for 20 years that his way of playing 9 ball ain't cutting it. And we've told him all the time he's been in Virtual Pool 4, all the time he hasn't won it, and he's never really listened. He will always insist on doing it his way, even though it's the wrong way, and convincing himself that he's doing the thing right. And now he's missing simple pots. So he's the only sort of glimmer of hope for him at the moment is he's still in touch at the moment. Now, if Matt's, I don't know, can you get that? Let me have a look at that 3 ball. I'm dropping that 3 ball in and killing the pace in the cue ball. I think it was far too thin that he couldn't really, but I think he's okay for the 5-3. Yeah, and the 5 is going to go the general direction of that corner pocket, so you don't hit it hard. Well, the 3 ball. Now, the first thing he wants to do here is stay below this diamond, so that when the 3 spotted, he's going to get that 5 ball out of there, because that's no good there. Now again, he didn't have to hit that hard. Now, has it come across far enough? Yes, it has. So he's okay from this side. And he can now work with the 3. And he wants to really just come over here with the cue ball. Now that might be a wee bit heavy. Let's have a look. Where's the spot? Now he can get to that, and again you hit this with a bit of left so that you go to the rail and you hit the 5 from the back. And he's got a straight 3. Again, just follow it straight up. The bonus carom would be if you hit the 1, but he's now lined up good for the 3-5. Now again, this is gentle as you dare so that you stay with that 5 and probably pot it if you can next. You've got to be thinking like this. So this is how you have to be thinking. You know, you're trying to keep, I think he's hit that too thin. I think he's okay though, he's actually fine. You've just got to be thinking like that all the time. Where am I going next? Where's that ball going? If I pot the ball, it goes on its spot. The other ball stays there, we're fine. You know, all of that is how you start stringing. It's like anything though, that's the rule you apply to every game. Make sure you know where, and now this is a line I repeat all the time, make sure you know where you're going before you move. Didn't get the carom there, but importantly, again, oh he did, he must have just brushed the bloody edge of that. I never even saw that move. Now you've got to be careful with this one. He's well away from the pot. Now here's a risky one. This is the risky one. As long as he plays this soft, he's fine. And you know, just let the guts of this cue ball run out to the 5. Now he can play the 3-5 perfectly safe as long as he doesn't hit it hard. Even if he goes behind the 5 on the left side, he's still got a chance of coming off the rail and bumping it, but he doesn't need to hit it hard. I think he's a wee bit scared, but I think he can play this perfectly okay and just let it run, but he's not even risking that. I would have played it, because I certainly wouldn't be hitting it hard enough to scratch. But again, he's done the right thing. The vital thing is he's into the 90s. He's had a run of 21. Stubb can't get a ball to a pocket now, so he's gone ballistic. He's totally losing the plot. And this time Matt plays a shot that was even riskier than the one that he refused. And he's got the carom. Let's have a quick look at this. Right, now this is up and down and trying to get to either the rail and then hit the 5. Good effort at it. And just wait until Stubb pots the 1, because Stubb can't leave the 1 ball there all night. That's doing him no good at all. He can leave it to you know, so that Matt doesn't have a ball to work with, but it's no good when you're sitting in 67. Well, Matt has scrolled the chat up. He's got it down to 1 line and scrolled it up, so he won't be able to see what he's saying. Because as I said earlier on, he was asking me how do you move the chat window? How do you shrink the chat window? And all you need to do is move, you know, shrink it down, move the chat text up 1 line, and you'll never see anything your opponent types. And again, this is just marking. I don't think he's finished good here. Oh, hang on a minute. He might actually. I think he's fine. I think he can get away with that. He can cheat that a wee bit. He's not looking at it, but I think he can. I think he can just feather that past the 3 and catch the edge of the 3 that side. I'd be playing it anyway. I wouldn't even be batting an eyelid. I'd be going for that. Well, Larry's right. The mute is easier. Oh, I think he's found a way out though. Oh, he's landed plumb here. That's worked out. That has worked out very nice. Now, can he hit this in such a way the 3 ball's coming into play and doesn't come up too far? Yeah, but he's okay. 5 to 3's fine. He's just going to brush the edge of the 3. 5's going there. This is all good to get out here. It's all good to get out. Now, where the 5 is might be handy if he had ended up on this side of the object ball. He hasn't at the moment. He might end up that side in a minute here, depending how he hits this 3. So if he comes this side, and if that 1 ball stays there or thereabouts, that's perfect. I think he can go. I think he's. Yeah. And the 1 ball's coming back now. It needs a bump. And that's perfect again. And he's on 100. And now, what do you do here? What's the line? Yeah, Stubbs got no. See how he's saying he's got no patience. No, he's got no patience to try and learn it. That's what that's the correct statement. I think he's going for it in the side. This is tricky to judge as well. Yeah, good effort at it. But once again, a nice little run of 7 caroms, and that's the killer. That is definitely the killer for Stubb in this rack. You know, this is. I mean, you know, Cowboy is really. I mean, to be honest with you, it's not a difficult game. And the reason it's not difficult is because you've only got 4 balls to worry about. You know, with Stubb, with all his experience, should have been able to adapt and survive. And he's gone out with a whimper here. So he is, which is very surprising. But then again, not for 1 minute has he put in any practice whatsoever at Cowboy. You know, if you don't get yourself, you know, in a room and hit some balls, then, you know, you're not going to get any joy. And, you know, he's just going to inevitably lose. What the hell was Matt trying to do there? Did Matt not realise you have to play out the kitchen? That 1 ball wasn't in the spot, I don't think. Or maybe he thought it was. Right, well, how many times are going to say this? There's not going to be that many more times, but again, he's just not seeing any line to play the force follow. Well, you know, generally, you know, if you're a good player, a good all-round player, you can adapt fairly quickly if you've put in a wee bit of time in a game you're not familiar with. But it's 2-0. Now that 1 ball's going to be handy. Again, you stop the cue ball where the 1 ball is here. That's all you do. Just kill this stone dead and you're sitting perfect for the 3-5. And once again, if you play this at the right pace, you don't pot the 3, you set the 3 up. You don't want to do that though, half a ball, you're going to scratch. You see, that is where you've got to get the line right. It all looks easy, that carom, but you've got to make sure the line is right to it, that you don't, if you're going to hit it on the side, you hit it on the left side. Right side is asking for the scratch. So that's a little basic error that I've done loads of times. And everybody's done it in Cowboy. No matter how good they are, they've all done that shot there. Matt's got an open table, and he's still got an open table, so once again he's followed a pot with a carom, and the table is still open. So he's got an easy 5, he's got the 1-3 to follow, or the 5-1, whatever line he follows into. Now he's just running a wee bit further than he would have liked, but he's still good. Now again, that is to keep the 3 in play. That's why he played that so soft. Just keep the 3 in play so he can pot it. Bonus bump in the 5. Now he might have to play a bit of a stun here. Oh yeah, this is not good. He can get to it, but I think he'd probably be easier. Let me have a look. I think he can get to it off the 1. He's got to hit it though. Yeah. And the 1 ball doesn't go in, which is another bonus, because then you can just pot it and set it up. And you got to, now before you pot it, you got to get down here and look where the 1 spot is. That's what you want to double check before you make a move. And that's perfect. So the one thing that's noticeable in this match is that Matt's doing an awful lot more things right than Stubb ever has been doing. So, you know, there's Matt, who's exactly the same boat as Stubb when you think about it. I mean, there's a perfect example. You've got Matt, who's exactly the same as Stubb in terms of the games that he plays. He plays, you know, he plays a lot of 9-ball. He plays snooker, but he's never near Cowboy, right? I mean, this is Matt, the same as Stubb, playing Cowboy like once a year because there's a tournament on. And yet he's adapted to it a lot more comfortable than Stubb ever has, because he's applied himself and he's actually thinking a lot more about the shape, the position, and the line for the next shot, and all of that stuff, all of the basics. Stubbs never get into the habit of doing that because he plays a lot of 9-ball and he can get away with a lot of crap in 9-ball. And by crap, I mean not getting perfect shape, by potting to get your way out of trouble, and been dealing with such a habit of that over the years that he's never had to really work on the position game. And with Matt having a lot of snooker background, that's the one thing that's drilled into you, is getting that cue ball into that area, and again adapting and applying that to all the other games you're going to play. So Matt's a much more disciplined player at anything than Stubb is, and that's why Street's ahead of him in this match. Very easy to summarise it, but it's sad to say that Stubb could be shown up as badly as this for how he's adapted, or rather not adapted, and certainly not for a player of his level. there he's bullshitting in the chat. So it's again, we're just marking time here at the moment. Well, Matt's run now. Does that 3 bank? I think you should give that 5 a bang and try banking that 3. Now, if that had the legs, no, it's not. It's staying straight, but he had a go at it. Well, Stubbs got the pot and the 3. Again, he's potting the 5. You see, that's just a stupid shot. Again, look at where he's finished. You know, you pot the 3, you get yourself above the 3, and you've got an easy 3-5 carom. He's got no clue. Not a shred of evidence of any thought of what he's doing. And trying to work miracles on his second shot, and it ain't going to happen. It just ain't going to work. Now, Matt's overhit that because there's no way he wanted to be there. And he's just got the thin edge. But now the problem you see is he's not got a pot or anything. It's easy. And it's so easy to get out of shape very quickly on a run. But he's what a recovery that is. Now this needs to bounce. And if it does, he'll be in reasonable shape for the follow-up. Now here's the sucker carom shot coming up. The sucker scratch. But play it the right way and you don't scratch. Your alarm bell should always ring when you have a shot like that, from the 5 to the 3 or from the 5 to the 1. Should always, the little warning light, the red warning light should come on in your brain. Well, that is very surprising that you're saying that, Monster, but it's true. He doesn't have the knowledge and touch required to play cowboy. You know, he's going to bang his way out of trouble. And we've seen him, you know, adapt, you know, apply the same rule in 9-ball as well. You know, when he's getting himself awkward, he's just going to give things a bang, you know. But good players adapt. You know, Albie's a perfect example. Although he's not in the tournament, I think most people are quite glad he isn't in the tournament. But if Albie's in this, you think Albie be farting about? No. So again, the visit's only 3. But this is where, if you're Matt, you want to keep yourself switched on here. You know, he wants to put a wee score together here because they're just the sort of the threat of sort of losing a wee bit of interest and focus. Because you don't want to do that. You don't want to give Stubb any encouragement. You want to start making sure that you are putting those contributions back together and getting this match over and done with, taking it away from him. And the goal here is get to 90 and get the match done. Now this line is dangerously going to the side pocket, I think, with the cue ball. That's why he's drawn off the 3, I think. I didn't go up to have a look, but I could tell that that was probably the concern. And he didn't finish particularly great on the 3. So Matt's, of course, not getting to the rail. Of course, he loses his points. Steve's come in to have a look at the demise of Stubb. I'm going to have a quick tab. I don't believe he's there. Yeah. He's Stubb's not box office enough anymore for Steve to bother his ass coming into the commentary booth. Oh, I just come into mute him. Oh dear, that now Stubb's got no outlet. He's got no outlet. He's just going to be bullshitting to the keyboard. Nobody's listening. But once again, there's a little glimmer of hope for it. I'm trying to give some sort of encouragement for the survival of Stubb. The encouragement is he's not far behind at the moment. He's still in this rack. The likelihood that he's going to be in the front at the end of this visit is probably slim. And now he wants to see. To me, I'd be potting the 1 here, and the reason I say that is because I would have at least had the 1 to the 3. This is thin again, or it's the force follow shot. Now again, he's picked that one out pretty good. Right. Well, again, that is not the shot I would have played. I would have potted the 1 every day of the week. Because now he's going to have to run loose again. And he might regret it. Well, he's got the hit. He'll insist on doing it his way. You know, once again, that's a bad shot. You know, it's bad because, you know, he wanted to be up near the top rail there, so he had a choice of shots. Now everything's hard work again. You know, it's he ended up playing a 2-in-1 shot there, though. I'll give him credit for that. He didn't get the 5, but he hit the 1. And now he's on a run of 34, playing the bank to stay at the table. Cue ball running loose, took a risky shot there, but he's still good. And it'll be even riskier if he's going to stun from the 1 to the 5, I'll tell you that. Because anything can happen. Well, he's playing it at a controlled weight. And he might be in business here, but who's all thinking the same as me that this is doomed to failure? Because he might get to a point where he's going to have to run this cue ball loose and bang a shot and lose the points. Well, I'd be potting the 3 myself. He's not interested in it. He wants to do it his way, but it's 3 ball every day of the week. A nice firm stun and actually cheat the pocket a wee bit so you can go at the rail and get out. I would have hit it harder than that. Jeff was banned this morning. That's Steve, by the way, in case anybody's interested. Landings Woodwork. Just for your interest, Jeff was banned this morning for not following admin instructions or responding. What was the instruction to reboot his router or whatever? Was it to do with the disconnects that he was having? Now, what was Stubbs' run there? I missed the end of that. Anyway, it was a good run from Stubb. You know, he's put one decent little run together so far in the match. It's given him the lead. Now, when you say, was he giving you abuse? Like apparently some of the guys were saying that he was giving abuse in some of the rooms. Was he giving you abuse in response or just not responding at all? Right, so now we've got a bit of a fight on in this rack. At least we might see something of a glimmer of hope for Stubb. None whatsoever. In fact, was he actually? Did we know that he was alive? That he was actually present in the lobby at the time? Although he was in the lobby, was there any way of knowing whether he was responding to anybody or doing anything that suggested he was actually here? The poor guy could have been in the bathroom. You know, he might have been locked away. He might have been locked away for a couple of hours in the bathroom. So Matt on 76, he takes the lead. The run goes to 25. Sorry, it doesn't. He's potted out a sequence or whatever the hell he's done there. I think that's what he's done. He's potted out a sequence. Or in actual fact, played the 5 ball for the cannon but didn't get it. So that's given Stubb a little bit of hope. That's Steve. That's Super Admin. Right, see you later. Well, we won't be seeing Jeff for a while now, unless he comes in with another, what do you call it, another profile. Stuff misses the carom. And he's left the table ugly. Now, how thin is that? That's ugly as well. It was never easy. Well, while this is going on, and while we've got the attention of whatever viewers we've got left, a quick reminder, we've got this match that's going to finish obviously soon. We've got the match between myself and Interchange X coming up later tonight at 11 PM British Summer Time. We've got Kenway and Woody tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We've got Larry and Tam on Thursday at 8 o'clock British Summer Time. These are all British Summer Time, of course. VP Monster and Casino Jim, they're playing next Monday at 7 PM. And finally, in the one lost side, Sergaresh Progressive Pool next Tuesday at 6:30. We've also got the Virtual World Snooker Championship sign-ups will be opening soon. In fact, I should have got on to Steve there about that, because the tournament is all set up. It just needs to be set live. It's the same settings as it was the last couple of years. Races to 6, races to 4 on the one loss side. A final is a race to 9. And that will be going live soon enough, because that's the next Virtual World Championship. Now, the question about that is Barker's going to turn up out the woodwork again and defend his title, the two-time back-to-back Virtual World Snooker Champion, who beat Albinario in last year's final. And Albinario had a 1-4-6 break. Now, Matt on the brink. That takes him to 89. The one ball sitting nicely for the point to get him to 90. Stubbs got to not lose hope. He's on 85. Well within touching distance. And this is not an easy carom to follow up. And what's more, Stubbs got the 5 to cut in to get to 90. Now he's got to make sure that this cue ball doesn't run loose, because he doesn't want the extra point by caroming another ball. Well, at best, he may well be able to draw from the 3 to the 1. Again, got to watch where that 3 ball's ended up. He's, well, just caught the back end, but the 3 ball, has it got the legs? Well, this is a stun. Just caught the back side of the 5. Now he really wants to get that 5 to the 1. But these are going to be split apart. And unless he did that, that was actually, I don't know whether he deliberately played it or not, but going behind the 1 brings it into play. Now you can just brush it. Now, this is a nice little touchy shot. You've got to get the line off that 3 ball and get tight into the corner around those 2 rails. That's going behind it, is it? No, perfect. Not that long if you get decent players in it. You know, a frame of snooker in Virtual Pool 4 as well as real life should last about 20 minutes. But, you know, if somebody makes a decent break, the frame could be over in 10 minutes. Well, that is a disaster. Because Stubb was in 95 there, wasn't he? And he's lost all his points. by knocking that ball into the hole. Oh, that's painful. And just as well he's muted. He'll be hammering lumps out of his keyboard right now. And, well, he was actually getting himself really in with a good opportunity there, and he's blown it hot in that ball. And of course, that's the other rule. You can score, you know, you can put a run of 7 caroms together, but if you accidentally pot a ball in the process, you lose all your caroms. No, it's not up yet. It's been set up. Steve just asked me to have a look at it last night or 2 nights ago, whenever it was, just to see everything was right. And it's just a copy of the previous ones that we've done. It'll be going live soon enough. Maximum of 32 in it. I don't know, I never saw it, I just heard the bang. I never saw the shot. That's too narrow. But again, the table's not sitting good. That one ball's in a horrible place. Now, there is a shot to get to that one ball from the short side. You know, you go off the 5, go to the rail. I think you caught the edge of that, by the way. You go to the long rail and kick the back of the one. That's knocking it nearer the pocket. But it's getting Matt nearer the finish line, more importantly. Watch the cue ball. And also, one thing Stubb needs to be switched on to is where that one is sitting, because that can't remain there for the rest of this rack, or Stubb is definitely dead and buried. He's going to scratch. And the only bonus that he has there is the fact that Matt can't play these 2 balls in the kitchen. He has to play out the kitchen, and he can get this, and he's got a 2-in-1 shot carom to the 3 or the 5, and he should be hitting something here. Oh, and it could be all over. Look at where the 5's sitting. That 5 is not bad for the outshot. He's on 96. Now he can go off the 3 ball. Is he going to draw to the 3s? He's got. I think he's better going 3 to 5. Well, maybe not, because you can't. The 3's too close to the pocket. You can't play that at all now. But nevertheless, it's not any better for Stubb, and Matt is on 99. Now again, with a run of 4 caroms, he doesn't really want to take a risk here. I mean, he can take a risk as long as he goes to the short rail up top. Yeah, he's not really running it with a great deal of conviction. But what he could have done is he could have went wide, made sure he was going that direction rather than a narrower line, and he could have still had a go at the one there. Only a brave numpty like me would have played that shot. Well, this match is definitely done and finished with in the next couple of minutes. It won't be lasting much longer. You know, sooner or later, Matt's going to eventually find a line that will get him there, or Stubb will set it up for him, one of the two. Now again, this is like, you know, to play a draw to the 5 is asking for trouble again. But I think when you're long past last chance saloon stage, I think you might as well go for everything. He's trying to rest onto the 3, and that's perfect. He's gone right behind it, and can he play off it? Because ideally, if you can play off it, you can get it out even better now. I think I'd be trying to play off that 3. He's trying to either, I mean, I think it's too narrow to go to the rail and bump that one, is it? No. Oh, he just missed the side pocket. Now this is where he's got to think about keeping the 1 safe. Is he going to start running to get to that 1? Because again, this could lead to disaster. Yeah, he didn't play that with great conviction. Didn't want to let the cue ball run loose. And Matt's got a good chance here from the right side of the 5 to go to the 1. He's going left side. Problem with the left side is that you can cut across that 1 and still scratch if you play it at the wrong pace. And again, he's not hitting it. The line was off the right side of the 5 to the long rail on the right, up onto the 1 that way. Because then if you play it at a decent pace, you're not going to scratch. And Stubbs had a blast. And that's game, set and match, because the 3's going to spot it. And Matt's going to have the easy carom to get to 100. He's just got to hope he's sitting good in the 1. And it couldn't be any better than that. It is all over, folks. And back-to-back tournaments for Stubb have ended in disaster. Because that was stealing candy from a baby, that match. Matt with a very comfortable 3 racks to 0 win. So Matt's first match on the 1 loss side gives him the survival to the next round. I don't even know where it was in the bracket. Where was it? There we are. No, why don't I see it? Why can't I see Matt? Am I just blind? Oh no, there he is. Right, so Matt is through. And he'll be waiting on the loser of the VP Monster Casino Gym match. So, well, that's 1 match off the schedule today. The only remaining one is my own match, which is in exactly 2.25 hours time at 11 o'clock. I've just had a message from Stubb. It says, bullshit. Oh, what did it say? Let me have a look. It disappeared there. It says, here's Stubb's message. Bullshit game. I do carom. This is how he's written it. I do carom, run, pot, ball, and it takes it away from 90 to 100. F that game. Not playing that baby crap no more. Now, that just seems like he's just copied and pasted the same crap that he'd done from the 9-ball one as well. That he's not playing anymore. But anyway, unlucky to Stubb. But lots to learn to play cowboy, my friend. So, thanks for watching. Well done, Matt. And if you really want to get to your bed tonight and you want something to put you to sleep, you can always hang about to 11 o'clock to see my efforts, because I am going to be partially awake for that. And until we meet again, maybe over the next day or so, with one of these other matches. I don't know, I'm not that convinced about the Larry Tam match on Thursday. That's just going to run too late. I'm reluctant to start streaming it and then having to bail out on it. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and we'll see you soon.